Owning your story is a radical act of self-acceptance. It means embracing every part of your journey, the moments of triumph that filled you with pride, and the struggles that left you questioning your worth. It's about refusing to let the hardest chapters define you while also recognizing that they've shaped your strength, your perspective, and your resilience. When you own your story, you stop running from it. You stop trying to rewrite the past or pretend that the painful parts didn't happen. Instead, you stand firmly in the truth of your experiences, no matter how messy or imperfect they might seem. You understand that your story is uniquely yours, and in that uniqueness lies your power. It's not about having a flawless narrative, but about finding meaning and purpose in everything you've endured. This kind of ownership requires courage. It asks you to confront shame head-on, to dismantle the belief that you have to be perfect to be worthy. You acknowledge the mistakes you've made, but you don't let them define you. You look at the scars you carry and recognize them as evidence of your survival, not proof of your failure. Owning your story also means rejecting the need for validation from others. You don't tell your story to seek approval or pity, but to honor your truth. You choose vulnerability over perfection, knowing that true connection comes from authenticity, not from trying to meet unrealistic expectations. When you fully own your story, you give others permission to do the same, creating a ripple effect of empowerment and connection. This journey is not about fixing or hiding parts of yourself, it's about integration. It's about weaving together the beautiful and the broken into something whole. By owning your story, you reclaim the narrative. You become the author of your life, no longer handing the pen to circumstances or other people's opinions. You realize that your story, as it is, holds the key to your greatest strength. Owning your story doesn't mean you're finished growing. It's not about settling into a static version of who you are, but about embracing the ongoing process of becoming. When you take ownership, you can look at where you've been without fear, and where you're going with hope, knowing that you are fully capable of writing the next chapter with intention and purpose. Cultivating resilience is about building the inner strength to rise again and again, no matter how many times life knocks you down. It's not about avoiding pain or hardship, but about learning how to navigate it with courage and grace. Resilience begins with acknowledging that struggle is an inevitable part of life. It's not a sign of weakness or failure, it's a natural part of growth. When you accept this, you stop fighting against the discomfort and start learning from it. Resilience doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending to be unaffected by challenges. It's about giving yourself permission to feel grief, frustration, fear, while also refusing to let those emotions dictate your actions. Resilient people face their pain head-on. They name it, process it, and find healthy ways to move through it. They understand that healing isn't linear and that setbacks are not the end of the story, but part of the journey towards something greater. At its core, resilience is rooted in perspective. It's about shifting your mindset from why is this happening to me to what can I learn from this. Resilient people find meaning in adversity. They recognize that even in the darkest moments, there is an opportunity for growth. This shift doesn't erase the difficulty, but it reframes it, turning obstacles into stepping stones. Another key to resilience is cultivating a sense of self-efficacy, the belief that you have the capacity to influence your own life. This belief isn't built in moments of ease, it's forged in times of difficulty when you choose to take even the smallest step forward. Each time you face a challenge and overcome it, you build evidence of your own strength. Resilience grows when you trust in your ability to endure and adapt, no matter what comes your way. Connection is also vital to resilience. While resilience is deeply personal, it's not something you have to navigate alone. Resilient people know how to lean on their support systems and seek help when they need it. They allow others to walk alongside them in their struggles, understanding that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. Sharing your burdens doesn't make you less resilient, it makes you human. Resilience requires a commitment to self-care. You can't endure and grow through challenges if you're depleted. Resilient people prioritize their well-being. whether through rest, reflection, or practices that renew their spirit. They understand that resilience is a resource that must be replenished, not a bottomless well. Ultimately, resilience is not about bouncing back to who you were before the struggle. It's about bouncing forward into someone stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. It's the art of transforming pain into power, failure into wisdom, and setbacks into stepping stones. Resilience is not just surviving the storm, it's learning how to dance in the rain and emerging with a deeper understanding of your own strength and capacity for growth. Setting clear boundaries is an act of self-respect and self-preservation. It's about defining what is acceptable and unacceptable in your relationships, interactions, and life as a whole. Boundaries aren't about shutting people out, they're about creating a safe and supportive space where mutual respect can thrive. They are the invisible lines that protect your energy, your time, and your emotional well-being. The first step in setting boundaries is understanding your own needs, values, and limits. This requires self-awareness and honest reflection. You need to ask yourself what drains you, what makes you feel disrespected, and what allows you to feel safe and valued. Boundaries are deeply personal, and they're not one size fits all. What works for someone else may not work for you, and that's okay. The key is to honor what feels right for you, even if it's uncomfortable to express it. Communicating your boundaries is where courage comes in. It's not always easy to say, this is what I need, especially when you fear rejection, conflict, or being misunderstood. But setting boundaries is not about controlling how others react, it's about standing up for yourself in a way that aligns with your truth. When you express your boundaries, you're not asking for permission, you're stating what you need to feel respected and safe. Healthy boundaries require consistency. It's not enough to set them once and hope others will respect them indefinitely. People may test your boundaries intentionally or unintentionally, and it's your responsibility to enforce them. This doesn't mean you have to be harsh or rigid, but it does mean holding firm when necessary. Every time you uphold your boundaries, you reinforce your self-worth and teach others how to treat you. Boundaries are also a form of self-care. They prevent you from overcommitting, overextending, or sacrificing your own well-being to meet the expectations of others. By setting boundaries, you create space for the things that truly matter, your goals, your passions, and the relationships that uplift you. Boundaries allow you to say no to what doesn't serve you so you can say yes to what does. It's important to remember that boundaries are not walls meant to isolate you. They're bridges that lead to healthier and more authentic connections. When you set boundaries, you're not pushing people away, you're inviting them to meet you in a place of mutual respect and understanding. Clear boundaries improve relationships by eliminating resentment and confusion, creating a foundation for trust and open communication. Setting boundaries may be met with resistance, especially if you're breaking old patterns or shifting dynamics in long-standing relationships. Some people may struggle to accept your boundaries, and that's not a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of their own limitations. Staying firm in your boundaries is a powerful act of self-empowerment. It shows that you value yourself enough to prioritize your peace over others' discomfort. Boundaries evolve as you grow. What you needed a year ago may not be what you need today, and that's okay. The process of setting boundaries is ongoing, requiring you to check in with yourself regularly and make adjustments as necessary. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, and the stronger your sense of self becomes. At its core, setting clear boundaries is about taking ownership of your life. It's about standing in your power and honoring the truth of who you are. It's a declaration that your time, energy, and emotional well-being matter and that you deserve to be treated with respect and care. Boundaries are not selfish, they are a profound expression of self-love. Practicing self-compassion is the practice of treating yourself with the same care, kindness, and understanding that you would offer to a dear friend in times of hardship. It is the gentle art of embracing your humanity, recognizing that, like everyone else, you are imperfect, vulnerable, and capable of both triumph and failure. Self-compassion is not a one-time act, it's an ongoing, intentional choice to respond to your own pain, mistakes, and disappointments with tenderness rather than judgment. When you practice self-compassion, you stop criticizing yourself for being weak or flawed instead. You treat your imperfections as part of your shared human experience rather than a reflection of your worth. You acknowledge that struggling does not diminish your value, it highlights your courage to show up despite the challenges. Self-compassion means you stop demanding perfection from yourself and instead accept that mistakes are inevitable. They do not define who you are, they are simply part of being human. This practice requires an intentional shift in mindset. It means replacing self-criticism with self-kindness. It means reframing negative thoughts and judgments about yourself and replacing them with words of encouragement and care. When you fall short or make mistakes, you learn to speak to yourself with the same empathy and understanding you would offer someone you love. You're doing your best, it's okay to make mistakes, or you are worthy of love, no matter what. Become your inner dialogue instead of harsh self-judgment. Self-compassion also involves recognizing the universality of suffering. It means understanding that pain, disappointment, and failure are part of the human condition, not something unique to you. When you embrace this, you no longer isolate yourself in your struggles. Instead of feeling like you are alone in your pain, you realize that suffering is a shared experience. This understanding cultivates a deep sense of connection to others and helps to soften the self-blame that often accompanies difficult times. You start to recognize that what you're going through doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. At its core, self-compassion encourages you to stop striving for an unattainable ideal of perfection. It asks you to acknowledge your limits and accept that you don't have to be everything to everyone, nor do you have to always be strong. It's okay to rest, to ask for help, and to lean into the spaces where you feel vulnerable or broken. You are not less capable or valuable for needing time to heal or for reaching out to others for support. In fact, these acts of self-care are a profound declaration of your worthiness. When you practice self-compassion, you also begin to foster emotional resilience. You learn not to be overwhelmed by negative emotions, but rather to acknowledge them without judgment. When you experience fear, sadness, or anger, you allow yourself to feel those emotions fully without shame or guilt. You give yourself permission to grieve, to be upset, to be disappointed without turning it into a reflection of your identity. You know that emotions are temporary and they don't define who you are. By allowing yourself to feel what you feel without over-identifying with it, you create the space to move through it and eventually find peace. In practicing self-compassion, you also learn to forgive yourself. You stop carrying the weight of past mistakes and regrets as if they were permanent markers of your identity. You acknowledge your missteps, learn from them, and then release them. You forgive yourself not because you are excusing any wrongs, but because you understand that holding on to guilt or shame will only keep you stuck. The act of forgiveness is an expression of self-compassion. It is the understanding that you deserve to move forward, just like anyone else. Ultimately, practicing self-compassion is about recognizing that you deserve your own love and care. It's about learning to honor yourself, especially during your most difficult moments. It's about seeing yourself with kindness, patience, and understanding, and knowing that you are worthy of the same grace and empathy that you so freely offer others. When you practice self-compassion, you not only heal and grow, you also cultivate a deep sense of inner peace and self-worth that will carry you through life's challenges. Staying committed to growth is a lifelong process that requires continuous effort, intentionality, and a mindset that welcomes both the challenges and the rewards of personal transformation. It means constantly striving to become the best version of yourself, not out of a sense of inadequacy, but out of a deep desire to reach your fullest potential. Growth is not a destination, it's a dynamic journey that requires you to remain open to new possibilities, learn from every experience, and embrace the discomfort that comes with change. Commitment to growth begins with a willingness to face yourself honestly, to look at your strengths and weaknesses without judgment. It requires self-awareness, the ability to recognize the patterns and behaviors that may be limiting your potential. But self-awareness is not enough. Growth demands that you take action. It's easy to acknowledge what needs to change, but true commitment to growth requires a dedication to doing the work, even when it's hard or uncomfortable. It means moving through fear, uncertainty, and resistance, trusting that the process of growth will eventually lead to greater clarity, strength, and wisdom. Growth doesn't happen in a straight line. There will be setbacks, moments of doubt, and times when it feels like you've taken 2 steps backward. In these moments, staying committed to growth means not allowing those setbacks to define your journey. It's the ability to see each obstacle as an opportunity for learning and growth. When you fall, you get back up, not because you are invincible, but because you recognize that growth requires persistence. It requires the belief that you are capable of overcoming challenges, even when the road gets tough. At its core, staying committed to growth requires a mindset that views life as an ongoing learning process. There is always something to learn, whether from success or failure, joy or pain. You recognize that growth doesn't just happen through formal education or structured programs. It happens in everyday moments through the way you approach life, relationships, and challenges. It's about being curious, asking questions, and remaining open to new perspectives. Every experience, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, has something valuable to teach you. To stay committed to growth, you must also be willing to let go of old patterns that no longer serve you. This can be one of the most challenging aspects of growth, releasing the familiar, even if it's unhealthy or unhelpful. Change often requires shedding the old in order to make room for something new, whether it's a new way of thinking, a new behavior, or a new way of interacting with the world. Letting go can be uncomfortable, but it's necessary for growth. You can't move forward if you're holding on to outdated beliefs or limiting habits. Letting go is an act of trust in your ability to handle the uncertainty of the unknown and the promise of something better. Staying committed to growth also means embracing vulnerability. Growth doesn't happen when you stay in your comfort zone. It happens when you step into the unknown, when you expose yourself to new experiences, and when you're willing to take risks. Vulnerability is the courage to try something new, to fail, and to get up again with the wisdom that each experience brings. It's the willingness to ask for help, admit when you don't know something, and open yourself to feedback. When you embrace vulnerability, you allow yourself the freedom to grow without the burden of perfectionism or self-doubt. Another key element of staying committed to growth is consistency. Growth doesn't occur overnight. It's the product of small, consistent efforts over time. It's the commitment to showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it or when progress seems slow. Whether it's investing time in learning something new, practicing a skill, or reflecting on your emotions, growth happens in the quiet, everyday moments. Staying committed means continuing to take action, even when you don't see immediate results. The key is trust that over time, your consistent efforts will yield significant results. Staying committed to growth is not about striving for perfection. It's about embracing the process, being willing to evolve, and recognizing that your potential is limitless. Growth is a journey of becoming, of constantly shedding old layers, embracing new possibilities, and stepping into your fullest self. It is a commitment to life itself, to the idea that no matter where you are right now, there is always more to discover, more to learn, and more to become. Surrounding yourself with supportive people is one of the most transformative actions you can take in your life. It's not just about having a network of acquaintances or people who are around when it's convenient. True support comes from those who genuinely care about your well-being, your growth, and your journey. They are the people who believe in you even when you struggle to believe in yourself, the ones who challenge you to be better and encourage you when you feel like giving up. They remind you of your strengths, hold up a mirror to your potential, and provide the kind of emotional safety that allows you to show up authentically, without fear of judgment. The key to surrounding yourself with supportive people lies in being intentional about who you allow into your inner circle. Not every person who crosses your path has the capacity to be a true source of support. Some may drain your energy, bring negativity, or hinder your growth without even realizing it. Supportive people are those who contribute to your life in a positive, uplifting way. They celebrate your successes without jealousy and offer constructive feedback when needed. They know when to give you space, when to encourage you, and when to push you beyond your comfort zone. It's crucial to be discerning about the relationships you nurture. This doesn't mean cutting out every person who isn't perfect, nobody is, but it does mean choosing to spend your time and energy with those who uplift you rather than diminish you. You need people who can hold space for your vulnerability and give you the freedom to fail without condemning you. They don't just show up when things are easy, but stay by your side during the hard times, offering empathy and care, knowing that every challenge you face is part of your growth, not a reflection of your worth. Supportive people don't just listen to your problems, they actively help you see solutions, provide encouragement, and offer their wisdom when appropriate. They don't offer solutions just to fix you, but they help you find your own answers. Their presence in your life encourages you to expand your own sense of possibility. They challenge you to become the best version of yourself by recognizing your potential and pushing you to grow into it. At the same time, surrounding yourself with supportive people doesn't mean you are seeking constant validation or relying on others to define your worth. Rather, it means creating a space where you feel safe enough to explore who you truly are, to experiment, and to take risks without fearing that you will be abandoned or criticized. These people help you build the courage to step outside your comfort zone knowing they've got your back. They provide a grounding force when you feel unsteady, but they also give you the freedom to be independent, to fail, and to rise again. Having supportive people around you doesn't eliminate struggles or hardships. In fact, it makes those times more bearable. When you face challenges, your support network is there to remind you that you're not alone, that setbacks don't define you, and that you have the strength to navigate through them. They help you process your emotions, offer perspective when you're stuck, and lift you up when you can't do it yourself. Through these relationships, you learn that you don't have to carry your burdens alone, that reaching out for help is not a sign of weakness, but of strength and wisdom. Another important aspect of being surrounded by supportive people is the mutuality of the relationship. True support is not one-sided, it's about give and take. You don't just look to others for help, you also offer it in return. You become a source of strength and encouragement for those you care about, creating a cycle of love, empathy, and growth that benefits everyone involved. The more you invest in supporting others, the more you receive in return. These reciprocal relationships create a sense of belonging and community, which is essential for emotional well-being. It's also important to remember that supportive people can come from various places. They don't have to be family or lifelong friends. Sometimes the people who offer the most genuine support are those who come into your life at just the right moment. Whether it's a mentor who offers guidance, a colleague who becomes a confidant, or a new friend who shares your vision and values, the right people can appear when you least expect it. Building a supportive network requires openness to new connections and an understanding that support doesn't always look the way you might imagine it. By surrounding yourself with supportive people, you are creating a foundation for a richer, more fulfilling life. You are building a network of love, encouragement, and strength that can carry you through life's challenges and triumphs. These relationships help you to stay grounded, to hold on to your sense of purpose, and to remember who you are even when the world feels overwhelming. They remind you that you are worthy of love, support, and respect, and that you don't have to navigate this journey alone. Living with purpose is about being guided by a deep sense of meaning in everything you do. It's not just about going through the motions or meeting societal expectations. It's about waking up every day with a clear sense of why you're here and what you're meant to contribute to the world. Purpose infuses every action, decision, and relationship with intention. It is the driving force that fuels your passions, aligns your actions with your core values, and gives your life a direction that feels authentic to who you are. Living with purpose requires you to be deeply connected to yourself and your desires. It's about tuning into your inner voice and asking yourself, what do I truly want? What brings me joy? What am I here to offer? These are the questions that help you explore your unique gifts, your deepest values, and your vision for the life you want to create. Living with purpose starts with understanding that you are not here by accident. You are part of something larger, and your life is a meaningful journey with a story only you can write. Purpose is what pulls you forward, even on the difficult days. It's the anchor that keeps you grounded when life feels uncertain. And it's the compass that helps you navigate challenges and setbacks. When you are living with purpose, setbacks become less of a detour and more of a stepping stone. Even when things don't go as planned, you know that they are part of a bigger picture that is unfolding. Challenges are opportunities for growth and refinement, not distractions from your purpose. The clarity of purpose enables you to see the bigger picture, which makes it easier to persist even when things are hard. Living with purpose means prioritizing what matters most to you. It's about making choices that align with your values, not based on external pressures or expectations. Sometimes this means saying no to things that may seem appealing but don't fit with your true calling. It may involve stepping away from relationships, environments, or commitments that drain your energy and moving toward what nurtures your growth. It's about taking ownership of your life and making decisions that bring you closer to the vision of who you want to be. Living with purpose also means recognizing that your purpose isn't a singular, rigid path. It evolves over time as you grow and learn more about yourself. You may discover new passions, refine your goals, or shift your priorities, and that's part of the process. Your purpose is not a fixed destination, it's an evolving journey. The process of living with purpose is dynamic, requiring you to be open to change and to embrace the fluidity of life. What's important is that you remain connected to the core values that guide you and trust that your journey will unfold as it should, step by step. A life lived with purpose often leads to a greater sense of fulfillment. This fulfillment doesn't come from external achievements or material success, but from the knowledge that you are living authentically. When you live with purpose, you feel a sense of inner peace because you are aligned with your true self. There is a deep satisfaction in knowing that your actions are aligned with your values and that you are contributing to something greater than yourself. This sense of fulfillment doesn't always come from what you achieve, it comes from the intentionality behind everything you do. Purpose also plays a key role in your relationships. When you are clear about your purpose, you begin to attract the people and opportunities that align with that vision. You become magnetic to others who share your values and who are walking similar paths. Purpose can create deeper, more meaningful connections as you are no longer seeking validation or approval from others, but are instead focused on living your truth. You surround yourself with people who support your growth and encourage you to keep moving forward on your path. Living with purpose is a continuous process of reflection and action. It requires you to regularly check in with yourself, to assess whether your current path aligns with your deeper desires. It means staying flexible and willing to course correct when necessary, while maintaining a deep commitment to living authentically. Purpose doesn't exist in a vacuum. It interacts with every area of your life, shaping the choices you make in your career, your relationships, your health, and your personal growth. It helps you navigate life's complexities with a sense of clarity and direction. Ultimately, living with purpose is about understanding that you are part of something much bigger than yourself. It's about realizing that your life matters, that your actions, however small, can have a profound impact. When you live with purpose, you begin to see your life as a beautiful thread woven into a larger tapestry of humanity, each of us contributing to a greater good. It's a life of meaning, of making a difference, of leaving a legacy not just through accomplishments, but through the way you show up in the world and the love you share along the way. Celebrating progress, not just outcomes, shifts the focus of your journey from an end result to the incremental steps that make up the path to success. It's about recognizing and honoring the small victories, the growth, and the effort that occurs along the way, rather than only measuring your worth or success by final achievements. In a world that often emphasizes outcomes, whether it's the finish line, the promotion, the award, or the goal reached, it's easy to forget the beauty and value of the process itself. But when you start to celebrate progress, you open yourself up to a richer, more fulfilling experience of growth. Progress is often messy and nonlinear. It's easy to get caught up in the desire for perfection, or to measure your journey against someone else's. But when you focus on celebrating progress, you allow yourself the grace to move forward, even when the road is uncertain or when setbacks occur. Progress is about making small, continuous improvements, even on the days when you feel like you're not getting anywhere. It's acknowledging that every small effort, every lesson learned, and every challenge overcome is part of a larger journey of growth. By celebrating these moments, you shift the narrative from "I haven't achieved enough" to "I've come so far." This mindset helps build momentum and keeps you motivated, even when the larger goals seem distant. The habit of celebrating progress also nurtures self-compassion. It helps you to become more patient with yourself, recognizing that growth takes time and that each step forward is valuable in its own right. When you stop to celebrate where you are, rather than where you think you should be, you give yourself permission to acknowledge how far you've come, even if you haven't yet reached your ultimate goal. This shift in focus allows you to appreciate the work you've put in and the lessons you've learned, rather than just focusing on the destination. It encourages you to celebrate every small victory, knowing that these moments of progress are foundational to the larger success you're striving for. When you celebrate progress, you also give yourself permission to enjoy the journey rather than simply enduring it. Often, when we focus solely on outcomes, we become consumed with the future and lose sight of the present moment. We can become so focused on achieving the next big milestone that we forget to appreciate the work we're doing now. But when you shift your focus to progress, you begin to see that every step, no matter how small, is part of a beautiful and meaningful process. You allow yourself to feel joy and satisfaction in the present, rather than postponing happiness for some future outcome that may never feel as satisfying as you expect it to be. Celebrating progress also builds resilience. When you acknowledge and celebrate the small wins, you create positive reinforcement that encourages you to keep moving forward. It helps you stay motivated when times get tough, because you've already built a habit of recognizing that success is not just in the outcome, but in the effort and growth that have already occurred. By focusing on progress, you strengthen your ability to persevere, knowing that each step forward, no matter how small, is moving you closer to where you want to be. In relationships, celebrating progress can also have a profound impact. Instead of waiting for others to reach a certain level of success or perfection, recognizing the progress they make along the way fosters a culture of encouragement, appreciation, and growth. By acknowledging the efforts of others, you strengthen your connections and create a space where both you and those around you feel valued and supported. It helps people feel seen for the effort they put in, rather than only for the outcomes they produce. In turn, this can build a sense of belonging and help reinforce positive behavior, as people feel more encouraged to keep moving forward. Celebrating progress rather than just outcomes also requires a shift in how we define success. We often associate success with achieving a specific goal, whether it's losing a certain amount of weight, landing a particular job, or achieving a certain level of financial stability. But success isn't just about the end result, it's about the person you become along the way. When you celebrate progress, you recognize that the small daily actions, showing up for yourself, doing the hard work, learning from mistakes, are all part of the process of success. It's about understanding that the journey itself is a success, and that every step forward, every lesson learned, and every challenge faced with resilience is an integral part of what it means to succeed. Moreover, celebrating progress fosters a deeper sense of gratitude. When you regularly acknowledge how far you've come, you start to cultivate a greater appreciation for your own effort, for the opportunities you've been given, and for the people who have supported you along the way. Gratitude helps shift your perspective from what you don't have to what you've already gained, making you more content and at peace with your current situation. This practice of recognizing the positives, no matter how small, can bring a sense of fulfillment and contentment, even while striving for future goals. Living a life that celebrates progress rather than just outcomes also invites flexibility. When you focus on progress, you release the need for rigid expectations and deadlines. Instead, you develop a mindset that values the journey and you become more open to the twists and turns that may occur. You learn to adapt, to adjust your goals and expectations when necessary, and to remain grounded in the belief that growth is an ongoing process. This flexibility allows you to embrace change and stay motivated, knowing that progress, not perfection, is the real measure of success. Ultimately, celebrating progress is a practice of self-love and empowerment. It's a reminder that you are worthy of celebrating even before the final destination is reached. It allows you to value yourself for who you are right now, not just for who you will become. By celebrating your progress, you affirm that your efforts matter, that you are capable, and that you are on the right path. It shifts your perspective from seeing the end goal as the only thing worth achieving to recognizing that every step along the way is significant, meaningful, and worth celebrating. Believing that you are enough is a transformative mindset that shifts the way you see yourself and how you show up in the world. It's about embracing your inherent worth, understanding that you are complete as you are, and not measuring your value by external standards or accomplishments. This belief is not contingent on your achievements, appearance, or how others perceive you. It comes from an inner knowing that you are worthy just by being yourself. When you believe you are enough, you begin to live from a place of self-acceptance and confidence rather than constantly seeking validation or approval from others. This belief requires a deep letting go of perfectionism. For many of us, the pressure to be perfect, to meet every expectation, to always get things right, to appear flawless can be overwhelming. We may feel that we are only worthy if we meet certain standards or if we are flawless in our endeavors. But when you believe you are enough, you recognize that perfection is an illusion. Mistakes and flaws are a natural part of the human experience, and they do not diminish your value. Your worth is not defined by what you do or how you perform. It is intrinsic to who you are. You do not have to prove anything to anyone to be deserving of love, respect, and success. Believing you are enough means accepting all parts of yourself, your strengths and your weaknesses, your successes and your failures. It is a holistic acceptance of who you are in your totality. Too often, we focus on the parts of ourselves that we think need fixing or improving, and we neglect the beauty of what is already whole. When you believe you are enough, you can acknowledge the areas where growth is needed without judgment or shame. Instead of focusing on your shortcomings, you can shift your energy towards nurturing your growth and honoring your unique qualities. This belief also liberates you from comparison. In a world driven by social media and external benchmarks, it is easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others. We look at someone else's achievements, their relationships, their success, and begin to believe that we are somehow less than because we aren't at the same place. But when you truly believe you are enough, you stop measuring your value against someone else's. You recognize that everyone is on their own journey, with their own unique struggles and their own set of circumstances. You realize that your path is not meant to mirror anyone else's, it is yours alone. In this space, you can fully embrace your own journey, trusting that your pace, your progress, and your process are valid and valuable. Believing that you are enough also means learning to quiet the inner critic, the voice that tells you that you're not doing enough, that you're not worthy of success, or that you don't measure up. This voice can be loud and persistent, often holding you back from stepping into your full potential. But when you shift into a mindset of enoughness, you become less susceptible to this inner chatter. You start to trust in your abilities, in your worth, and in the truth that you are already enough as you are. With this belief, you give yourself permission to act from a place of courage and conviction, knowing that you are deserving of success, love, and respect without needing to prove anything. This belief also strengthens your ability to set boundaries. When you believe you are enough, you are less likely to overextend yourself or allow others to take advantage of your time, energy, or emotions. You understand that your time is valuable, your needs matter, and your energy is precious. You can say no without guilt, and you can prioritize your own well-being without fear of disappointing others. You recognize that setting boundaries is a sign of self-respect, not selfishness, and that by honoring your own needs, you are better able to show up for others in a healthy and authentic way. Furthermore, believing that you are enough allows you to show up authentically in all areas of your life. You stop pretending to be someone you're not or conforming to what others expect of you. Instead, you embrace who you are in all your uniqueness and imperfection, knowing that your true self is worthy of acceptance and love. This authenticity creates deeper, more meaningful connections with others because you no longer feel the need to hide behind a mask or seek approval. You give others the permission to do the same, creating a space where honesty, vulnerability, and genuine connection can flourish. Believing you are enough also fosters a sense of gratitude. When you truly internalize that you are enough, you begin to appreciate everything you already have. You are not constantly chasing after the next achievement, the next relationship, or the next milestone to feel validated. Instead, you learn to appreciate your current circumstances, to be present in the moment, and to find joy in the journey rather than in a future destination. You develop a sense of contentment with where you are, and from this place you can grow and evolve without the pressure of needing to be more, do more, or have more to feel worthy. In the context of relationships, believing that you are enough helps you create healthier dynamics. When you believe in your inherent worth, you attract others who see you for who you truly are, not for what you can do for them or how you meet their needs. You are able to form relationships based on mutual respect, love, and authenticity, rather than on the need to prove your value or seek approval. This belief also helps you navigate difficult situations and relationships with more confidence and clarity because you know that your worth is not contingent on how others treat you or whether they appreciate you in the way you deserve. Ultimately, believing you are enough is an act of self-love. It is about embracing yourself fully, your dreams, your struggles, your victories, your imperfections. It's about recognizing that you don't need to earn your worth through accomplishments or validation from others. You are already worthy. This belief brings a sense of peace, confidence, and self-acceptance that empowers you to live authentically. Pursue your passions and show up in the world with a sense of purpose and pride. It is a deep, unwavering trust that you are enough, just as you are, and that you deserve to be treated with love, kindness, and respect, simply because you exist. Believing that you are enough means accepting your inherent worth, independent of external achievements or others' opinions. It involves letting go of perfectionism, embracing both strengths and flaws, and recognizing that progress, not perfection, defines your journey. This belief frees you from comparison, silences the inner critic, and helps you set healthy boundaries. It encourages you to live authentically, fostering deeper, more meaningful relationships. With this mindset, you cultivate gratitude and contentment, appreciating your present self and circumstances. Ultimately, believing you are enough empowers you to live with confidence, purpose, and self-love, knowing you are worthy just as you are.